Hi, I'm Connie Swinney. Joining me in a moment for this special report for Highland Lakes Headlines will be dailytrib.com editor Thomas Edwards. Edwards will share with us his recent interview with notorious convicted murderer and death row inmate Paul Gilbert Devoe. He spent an hour with a 46-year-old man in lockup at the maximum security state prison in Livingston. He asked some pointed questions about the cross-country killing spree that's connected to his case that started in Marble Falls in August 2007. We have the interview when we come back after the break.
Spring and summer in Texas call for outdoor grilling with friends and family.
At Bill Smith Butane, we take care of your fuel needs. Refill your propane bottles at one of our convenient locations and save big money on regular exchange prices. Bill Smith Butane.
We're back for a special report on Highland Lakes Headlines. They call him the Wolf. For some, he's considered the most hated man in the Highland Lakes for his role in a murderous rampage in August 2007 that claimed 6 lives, including a beloved Marble Falls bartender. 46-year-old Paul Devoe sits behind the walls of the Alan B. Polunsky unit on death row, awaiting his execution date. His latest plea is for a chance to be spared the death penalty after being convicted of 2 homicides. He told our dailytrib.com editor Thomas Edwards he wants the world to know that he is no longer a dangerous man or the same man who was convicted of executing 2 teen girls in cold blood and spent 30 years of his life going in and out of jail cells. Thomas joins us now just days from his one-on-one interview with Devoe on death row. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Connie.
Thomas, what would you say was the most telling revelation of your one-on-one session with Devoe?
Well, Connie, it was apparent. 6 months on death row had taken its toll on Devoe. He was shrunken, about 50 pounds lighter with thinning hair and sagging skin, which was quite a departure from his appearance 3 years ago. A lot of time obsessing over things like the documents in front of him. At times, compulsively tugging and tearing at paper as though he was trying to uncover more documents.
I can't even see what's in front of me.
I'll be right back, Devoe.
I need a pen. I need something.
He told us he's been reading mystery novels and even the Bible sometimes. After spending an hour with him, it's apparent he wants something he never gave his victims, life instead of death.
I think I should get another chance. Staying alive. That's what it's be. That's what it's got to be.
During the interview, Devoe said that he shouldn't die by lethal injection, that justice is satisfied if he pays for his crimes by remaining behind bars. When asked about the killing spree, this is what he said.
That's what I did, apparently. I don't remember that day at all. Yeah. The whole drive and everything else.
Even if he didn't recall, many remember the trail of death which started in Marble Falls, August 24th, 2007.
When we come back, the timeline of events and more of the interview with Devoe. Stay with us.
Fencing is more than just building protection. It's an investment, an improvement, an important decision that affects the value of your property. At Hill Country Fence, we deliver results. Our work speaks for itself. Durable quality fencing delivered on time as you ordered. We are a reputable company with honest workers and a simple philosophy: to make you happy. Call today for a free estimate, 830-798-9883.
Welcome back. Thomas Edwards with dailytrib.com is with us. He spent an hour with convicted mass murderer Paul Devoe, who's on death row at a Texas state prison. We'll have more of Thomas's interview with Devoe in a moment. But first, Thomas, what about the timeline of events?
Well, Connie, Devoe is a New York native. He had lived off and on in Bernalillo County since 2005. On the night of the slaying spree, he stole a pickup from his landlord and roommate, Sharon Wilson in Llano County. This after she caught him trying to steal credit cards from her purse. He opened fire with a handgun in her house and left for Marble Falls. He came here to O'Neill's Tavern on Main Street in Marble Falls. Inside, he brandished a gun at ex-girlfriend Glenda Purcell. She escaped harm, but in a scuffle, Devoe shot and killed 41-year-old bartender Michael Allred. Devoe left for Jonestown, just east of Marble Falls. He drove to the residence of ex-girlfriend, 46-year-old Paula Griffith. He fatally shot her and 3 others in her home. Along with Griffith, he killed her boyfriend Jay Feltner, Griffith's daughter Haley Faulkner, and her friend Danielle Hensley. He left the scene, and on the way to his former home in Long Island, New York, authorities say he shot and killed 81-year-old Betty DeHart in Pennsylvania and stole her car. He finally surrendered 3 days after the first death, after a standoff with police. Connie, during my interview, I tried to shed some light on what may have led to that fatal night. During the trial, his relatives hinted that an adverse reaction from a snake bite days prior to the incident may have played a part. Here's what Devoe said when I asked him about it.
It was outside. I went outside because we don't smoke in the house. So I went outside to put out the cigarette, and I went to turn around, and the snake just jumped and attacked me at my knee, at my ankle. That thing came out. Oh boy, that hurt. I don't know. I don't know for sure. You know, something's definitely mixing in on whatever. And I just go with the flow. That's what I do. If it drops me back, because it dropped me. It dropped me right to my knees.
Devoe's story about the snake bite added a mysterious element to the violent events that were to follow. But what interested me just as much was his past. He told me he was a good student in math and English, but didn't finish school. He described how his home life, which included abuse and alcohol, caused a strain on his childhood.
Not all of it. I had to go to I had to wait a little while to go back to school because father left my mom. Well, I'm glad he's out of here. He's pretty much a beater with his hands. At times it was rough. Break down every now and then. Just do what I had to do to get through to it.
By the time he was 8 years old, he worked odd jobs, mowing lawns and doing repairs on cars. He parlayed his experience into a future as a handyman. Just prior to the murders, he worked as one for Sharon Wilson while living on her property. He described the experience as an idyllic setting for him.
Because we monkey around, eat and all. And then she'd get goofy, I'd get goofy, and then we end up in a wrestling match.
At times, Devoe appeared lucid, but other times he scratched his leg, his face, and he rocked back and forth, struggling to find the words. He described how he took medication, but couldn't recall what it was for. When asked what he would say to the victims' families for what he did, he responded this way.
I don't know. I don't know what I would say.
When I asked him if he regretted what happened, he said this.
I'm just sorry about what happened. I can't change it now.
Devoe remains on death row, awaiting automatic appeal.
Thomas, will Devoe be standing trial for the other murders?
Well, Connie, he received his death sentence in October on 2 counts of capital murder in the Jonestown deaths. That would be the 2 teen girls. Trying him on 4 other charges would be extremely costly for any jurisdiction and could possibly tie up the case in indefinite appeals required by state law.
This is a very compelling story, Thomas. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Connie.
And thanks everyone for joining us for this special report on Highland Lakes Headlines. I'm Connie Swinney.